Hey there. We're going to talk about the one-page business plan today, and I love this topic because it's the greatest way to get started, regardless of what industry you're in, how much experience you've got with your business, what age you are, what you want to do with your business, all that kind of stuff. The reason it's so great is because it embodies the least amount of work that's right for you, and it's a great starting point for any type of business at any stage of business, wherever you're trying to take that next step or your planning process. Another reason I love this is so many planners out there, so many business owners, so many new entrepreneurs get intimidated by the planning process. They say, oh, I got to create this 20-page document, 30, 40-page document. And first off, not everyone needs to do that. A lot of times these leaner, more cyclic approaches to planning are all you'll ever need to do to get that business up and running, to validate it, to make sure you take those next steps. So we're going to go through the process and get you started really quickly. The good thing is you can hardly do this wrong if you just follow these steps. So kicking off the work that actually needs to go into this plan, this one-page business plan, the first section is just going to be a summary of the whole business, sometimes called the value proposition or the headline. Really, you want to write this section last, okay? You want to take all the thoughts you've put into all of the following sections and summarize each of those ideas in one sentence. It's a little bit tricky, so we can work on that. The first two sections, though, are really important. Problem we're solving and solution to that problem. Okay, and when I say problem worth solving, I mean that your customers have some pressing need, some desire that can't be otherwise filled, that your solution uniquely helps them with. Okay, so describe it in those terms. What is the problem that your audience has, your customers, your potential buyers, and how are you uniquely solving that? Again, keep these to one or two sentences maximum. So once you've got your problem we're solving and your solution nailed down, you might have a really good business model all ready to go. Now you want to start thinking about who is that target market? How many customers are they? What do they look like? What do they do with their day? Describe that target market as best you can. And then the other external factor that we're going to think about is competition. Who else solves that problem for your customers? That's your competition. Okay, so we think about the competition as somebody else out there who is offering a solution to that problem we're solving that your target market has. In some cases, it might be a business that looks a lot like yours. If you're opening a gym or a bar and there's another gym on the same block that's an obvious competitor. But one additional way to think about competition is what is keeping people from buying your product or solution. If people want a bicycle or an e-bike, are those two things competitive? Well, yes, you might only purchase one. So while they're not the same business model, they still are competitors in the marketplace. Okay, so warning, the next sections contain numbers. And I know a lot of us are not numbers people, okay? In my first business, these sections intimidated me. I felt overwhelmed when thinking about them, so let's keep it as simple as possible. All right, these sections are your sales and marketing channels, your revenues and expenses, and what funding you need. So they all work in synergy in terms of how they cost you money or make you money. So let's get started. The marketing and sales channels are two different things. And for some, sales channels can be the simplest. Sales channel are simply where you exchange money for goods. If you run a corner store and every transaction happens across the counter with cash, then you only have one sales channel. But a lot of contemporary businesses might sell online, might sell at a register, might sell using different techniques, different payment types. So you want to just quantify, think about all the ways that you are going to exchange money for your goods and services. Those are your sales channels. And those are often confused with marketing. Think of marketing as, how did your audience discover that you exist in the first place? How did they find out where you are and what you do? That might be something as traditional as a billboard or a magazine advertisement. It might be some sort of YouTube video that you created. It could be something online that you do. In fact, one marketing channel that a lot of people forget is if you build your corner store on a corner with lots of foot traffic, that is a marketing activity simply because you are constantly visible. So think about all those different ways that people will discover that you exist, and that goes into your marketing activities section. So your marketing activities and sales channels, of course, start to affect your revenue and expenses, the two next sections. Now, this is where we really start talking about the financial 101 of your business. Keep it simple, though. Revenue is simply the money that you earn. How do you earn that money? By what means, and how much money do you think you're going to be getting from each of those different revenue channels? So that's all you want to do. For now, just summarize it in words, and we'll come back to this section later with numbers. Same in the expenses. If you're talking about expenses, think about the ways in which you're going to have to spend money to keep this business up and running. Now, one of them might be those marketing expenses we just talked about. Another might be upkeep of those sales channels. But other things that are common to think about here are rent, utilities, supplies, stock, having stuff on the shelf, all those kinds of things. So do your best to express your knowledge of the industry that you're going into in your revenue and expense sections. Once you've completed all 4 of those sections, marketing, sales, revenue, expenses, you're probably going to realize that you need some startup money to get this business off the ground. To make your first sale, sometimes you need to have inventory on the shelf already. If I'm opening a restaurant, I might need to have rent paid for that first month. So that's where we're coming into this section called funding needed, the funding you'll need to get started. To go from nothing to something, you might need more money than once you're up and running. So that's what this section is all about. It's a great time to guess, to come up with an answer that seems as right as it can seem right now, and come back to refine that value over time. Once you've got all those thoughts down in this one-page business plan, there's a few more sections that you want to think about. These are more management oriented. Okay, so you've got your employees, the people you're going to hire to do this job, and include yourself. Don't forget you, the business owner, the manager, the CEO, the founder, whatever role you're going to play. And who are the other partners that you'll have to partner with? This might be key suppliers, business development partners, support, mentors, incubators, accelerators, all into this section. So again, show your networking power, show how you know where this business is going to develop into, and use that to develop the milestones section or the schedule. What dates are these major events going to happen? When are you going to open? When are you going to sell to your first customer? How are you going to grow from there, and how much time will it take? With all of those sections filled out, you've got a great start. That one-page business plan is, again, the smallest amount of work that you can put in that is relevant to any business at any stage with any experience level. Now, you might want to get out and just start going back to work. Now, that's great. That's a great next step. But if you wanted to get into a more detailed business plan, maybe for lending purposes, or you wanted to create a more detailed financial forecast to make sure that your business is going to be viable over time, that's great. This one-page business plan is still an excellent starting point to take those next steps. So we've covered a lot of different sections in a little bit of time. Now it's going to take you some effort to get into each one of those sections and provide thoughtful ideas for each step of that one-page business plan, but I believe in you. I think you can do it. If you've got expertise in your area, a lot of business owners actually know a lot more than they think. So this structure can really help draw out your expertise and get started in this process. Finally, don't forget, hit that like button. Subscribe for future updates. We got a video coming out next week about even more reasons this business planning process can be beneficial, not just to startups, but up and running businesses, all types of businesses, any experience, any industry, we got you. If you're working on your one-page business plan, let us know down in the comments. How's it going? What else do you want to hear from us? Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.